We are sitting here, 3 weeks away from the combine, watching the best coaching talent in the league fly off the board while we wait for one man to make up his mind. If you thought the quarterback controversy was the only fire burning in Berea, you are wrong. The entire foundation of our coaching staff is shaking, and we need answers right now. From the Jim Schwartz standoff to the Shedeur-Sanders debate, today we are exposing the chaotic reality of this offseason. Family, welcome back. If you are as stressed out as I am about the current state of the Cleveland Browns, do me a huge favor right now, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring that bell so we can commiserate, debate, and rally together through this madness. We are building the strongest Browns community on the internet, and I need you in here with us. I need to vent to you guys immediately. I need to get this off my chest because the silence coming out of our defensive coordinator's office is becoming deafening. We have a massive problem on our hands regarding Jim Schwartz. And look, I love what Jim has done for this defense. I respect the swagger he brought back to the dog pound. But right now, he is hurting this football team. Todd Monken needs to make a decision, and he needs to make it yesterday. We cannot allow Jim Schwartz to hold this entire franchise hostage while he contemplates his future. Think about the timeline here, guys. The NFL Scouting Combine is 3 weeks away. That is the unofficial start of the new league year. That is when staffs need to be finalized, schemes need to be locked in, and scouting responsibilities need to be assigned. And we are sitting here in limbo. Reports are flying left and right that this decision needs to happen soon, and for good reason. Look around the league. We are bleeding candidates. We are watching the top defensive minds, guys who could have been perfect replacements or additions, get snatched up by our rivals. Raheem Morris. Gone to the Niners. Jonathan Gannon. He's heading to Green Bay. Anthony Weaver, a guy many of us looked at with excitement. He went to Baltimore. That one stings. That is a great hire for the Ravens and a massive missed opportunity for us. Why are we missing out? Because we are paralyzed. We can't offer a job that isn't technically open yet. Jim Schwartz is leaving us in a state of purgatory. And my message to Jim is simple: I respect you, I appreciate you, but man, you have to let us know. Are you all in? Or are you out? Because if you are halfway out the door, we need to know so we can salvage what is left of the coaching market. We cannot build a championship staff on maybe. We need commitment. This brings me to the other elephant in the room, the most important position in sports. The comments coming from Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam recently have been interesting, to say the least. Have you been reading between the lines? Both the GM and the owner have indicated they are actively looking for a quarterback. Now, they didn't explicitly say, "We hate everyone on the roster." They didn't walk out to the podium and cut the guys we have. But the subtext. It's loud. It feels pretty clear that they do not believe they have a bona fide, undeniable QB1 on the roster right now. They said they are going to explore all options. They are looking externally. They are looking at the draft. They are looking at free agency. And yes, they are looking at the guys currently in the locker room, including Shedeur-Sanders. But that lack of commitment. It tells you everything. They aren't sold. And honestly, can we blame them? If we look at the numbers, if we look at the wins and losses, has anyone truly seized the crown? Has anyone played so well that they made the decision easy? No. However, I have to push back a little bit on the front office here. Because while they are looking for a savior externally, I think we might have seen the spark we need right here at home. I truly believe Shedeur-Sanders showed the most flashes of anyone we trotted out there last year. He showed the explosive ability, the leg talent, the scramble drill instincts that this offense desperately needs. Todd Monken is an offensive genius. We know this. And what kind of quarterback does Monken love? He loves the guy who can extend the play. He loves the guy who can make something out of nothing when the pocket collapses. That is Shedeur-Sanders' game. He fits the archetype. He will be in this battle in training camp, and I genuinely believe he has a real shot to win it and develop into that guy. But here is the reality check: the market for quarterbacks this year is thin. Have you seen the free agent list? Have you looked at the draft class? It is a wasteland out there. So, for the football team's sake, yes, Andrew Berry should turn over every stone. That is his job. But there is a very strong chance that after searching the world over, they come back to the conclusion that Shedeur is actually the best option we have. This leads perfectly into the chatter we are seeing from the national media. Did you see what Skip Bayless said? I know, it's Skip. But listen to what he is saying because I think he is tapping into something real here. Skip is adamant. He is pounding the table saying Shedeur Sanders will win this job, he should be the starter, and he is the answer. Skip pointed out something that I think we as fans sometimes overlook because we are so focused on completion percentages and turnover ratios. He talked about the IT factor. He quoted Shedeur telling Kay Adams, "I proved to myself I'm able to dominate the league." Now, you can take that two ways. You can call it arrogance, or you can call it the exact type of irrational confidence you need to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. I choose to see it as leadership. Joe Flacco, who has seen everything in this league, even talked about it at the Pro Bowl. He said you can just feel how much Shedeur believes in himself. That belief is contagious. If a quarterback walks into the huddle and doesn't believe he is the best player on the field, the 10 other guys know it instantly. Shedeur doesn't have that problem. If he is the franchise guy. If a 5th-round pick on a rookie deal turns out to be the savior. Guys, that is the dream. That is the lottery ticket every NFL team is trying to scratch. We have been looking for the guy for decades. And here is this kid saying, I am him. I am the one you've been waiting for. I love the kid. I love the moxie. But I also agree with Skip on one crucial caveat: he has to win it. It cannot be handed to him. Shedeur himself said, I gotta go out there and prove it this offseason. And he is right. We saw flashes, but we didn't see consistency. We didn't see enough to say, okay, cancel the search, we are good. But how much of that was him, and how much was the disaster around him? The offensive line was a turnstile. The system wasn't fully clicked in. So, I'm putting this to you. I want to hear your voice on this because this is the debate that will define our 2026 season. Question of the day: based on everything we saw last year and the lack of options in the market, should Shedeur Sanders be handed the keys as the undisputed starter for Week 1 of the 2026 season? I want you to go down to the comments right now. Type Y for yes if you are riding with Shedeur. Type N4 NO if you think we need to bring in a veteran or a high draft pick to replace him. Don't sit on the fence. Y or N? Let me know what you think. Now, let's circle back to the defense for a second, because we have some questions about Plan B if Jim Schwartz does decide to walk away, or if Monken gets tired of waiting and pulls the plug. Where do we go? We had a great question come in asking if we would be more comfortable promoting from within someone like Coach Vanda, safeties, or Coach Tarver, linebackers. And honestly, I think this is the smartest, safest, and most realistic path. Think about it. Todd Monken has made it very clear, he is an offense guy. He does not want to micromanage the defense. He wants to hand the keys to a coordinator and say, you handle that, I'll handle scoring points. He wants the system to remain stable. Our roster is built for this specific aggressive, wide 9 style of defense. Blowing it up and bringing in a guy who wants to run a 3-4 or a heavy zone scheme would be a disaster. Promoting a guy like Tarver, who has been in this system since 2020, or Vanda, who knows the secondary inside and out, makes the most sense. It keeps the terminology the same. It keeps the players comfortable. The locker room morale is a huge factor here. The guys loved playing for Schwartz. If you bring in a stranger who tries to change everything, you risk a revolt. If you promote a guy they already respect, you keep that continuity. There is also this wild theory floating around, I've seen it on the timelines, about trading Jim Schwartz. Trade Schwartz for a pick. Look, I love the creativity, but let's be real for a second. For a coach trade to happen, Schwartz would have to agree to stay, sign a contract, and then we would have to find a trade partner during the season. It's messy. It's unlikely. The only way that scenario plays out is if Schwartz stays, we start the season, the defense implodes or the relationship sours, and he demands out. Then maybe you get a late round pick for him. But we can't bank on that. We need a solution now, not a trade asset in week 8. Monken is going to look for an answer today, not tomorrow. We are going to get an answer on Schwartz, and we are going to move on with or without him. But while we are talking about people leaving and people staying, we have to address the man at the top. The general manager, Andrew Berry. There is a growing sentiment in the fan base that if this team goes 1-16 or has another disastrous season, Jimmy Haslam has to finally pull the trigger and fire Berry. And you know what? There would be no excuse not to. If we bottom out again. If we look like a junior varsity team again. Get him out of here. Frankly, a lot of people, and I know many of you watching right now agree, think Berry should have been fired last season. If he had been let go alongside some of the other changes, I wouldn't have shed a tear. I would have said, yeah, that makes sense. The Watson deal is an albatross, the depth was bad, it's time for a reset. The 2025 draft class is the only thing that saved his job. That class looks promising. But Jimmy Haslam is running out of patience. If we lose again because of roster holes that Berry failed to fill, it's wrap time. We might hear excuses about the cap or the QB situation, but 2026 feels like the final stand. I personally think we will be better. I think Monken is going to revamp this offense and mask a lot of those issues. But make no mistake, Andrew Berry is coaching for his career this year. Speaking of things that need to be fixed immediately, special teams. Can we get a round of applause? Bubba Ventrone is no longer a Cleveland Brown. The Rams have signed him, and to that I say, good luck, LA. I saw national reporters tweeting, oh, the Rams got a good one of the best in the league. Stop it. These people do not watch Browns games. They are not ball knowers like us. They look at reputation, not tape. If you watched our special teams unit last year, you saw a disaster. It was a joke. Stefanski didn't even try to take Bubba with him. That tells you everything you need to know. Any hire Monken makes is an upgrade. We need a new coordinator, and more importantly, we need a returner who can actually catch the football. Watching us fumble punts and kicks was giving me heart palpitations every Sunday. It has to be a priority. We need an elite return man to flip the field for this offense. If we roll out there with the same personnel dropping balls next year, I am going to lose my mind. Now, let's talk about the trenches. The offensive line. I'm calling it right now, 90% chance the Browns go O-line heavy in this draft. And if they don't, they are negligent. We are in a tough cap spot. We know this. We have 4 day one starters hitting free agency. We have injuries. We have age. The only way to fix this affordably is the draft. We need fresh, cheap, violent talent up front. It is the quickest way to rebuild a team. You fix the big boys, you fix the run game. Think about it, Shedeur was our leading rusher in most of his starts. That is unacceptable. That is not a sustainable offense. If we had a beefed up line, imagine what our running backs could do. Imagine Shedeur actually having 3 seconds to scan the field and take deep shots instead of running for his life. If we want to evaluate the quarterback fairly, we have to protect him. Period. And finally, I have to address the question that always comes up. The ghost in the machine. Deshaun Watson. Are we done with Watson after June? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Deshaun Watson is going to be on this roster in 2026. The contract structure, the dead money, it's a trap. I see him as a very expensive veteran backup at this point. But, and this is a big but, watch the Browns shock the world. Haslam has said it's up to Monken. So, guess what? Watson will be in training camp. He will be in the quarterback battle. And if he is healthy, which is a massive if, and if he outplays the kid, he plays. If you ask me right now, today, looking at the future, I'd put my money on Shedeur. But unlike last year where we were lied to about a competition, I think this year is real. Monken doesn't have loyalty to Watson's contract. He wants to win. Whether it's Shadur, Watson, or a trade target like an Anthony Richardson or a Malik Willis type that Monken likes, it's going to be a brawl for that starting spot. Browns fans, the offseason is just heating up. The drama is high, the stakes are higher, and I'm going to be here for every single twist and turn. Make sure you are following me on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. I'm dropping exclusive content, debating the haters, and keeping you up to the minute. Appreciate you all so much for rocking with me today. Let's hope the next time we talk, we actually have a defensive coordinator. I'll see you pretty soon. Go Browns!